As you are all aware, leadership is a hallmark of Western University. We find it in our students, in their disciplined approach to learning and civic contribution, in our staff and our faculty, reflected in their pursuit of excellence in research, training, and global collaborations, and in our alumni and friends, among whom we find some of the most influential, successful, and civic-minded professionals on the planet. In its aggregate, this multi-generational community has in common many characteristics and values, none more important than the use of knowledge, skills, and networks to build opportunity and to address issues that positively impact our world and ourselves in the present and for the future. Frank Islam, a close friend of Western University, and his wife, Debbie Driesman, an active Western alumnus, embody the qualities we hold dear as an institution and global community. Currently the head of FI Investment Group, the co-founder of the Frank Islam and Debbie Driesman Charitable Foundation, a patron of higher education and the arts, and a member of multiple civic organizations, Frank Islam shares with us today 3 decades of experiences as an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a civic leader, and a writer. Please join me in a warm welcome for our special guest speaker, Frank Islam.
So good afternoon. How are you guys? I haven't seen such a distinguished students in my life. So thank you for your hospitality and thank you for your warm welcome. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my deep appreciation to Dr. Dean and Paula Luchak for inviting me to speak with this fine group of young leaders. So, as I look into the audience today, I see the future of Canada. Indeed, the next generation of global trailblazers, pioneers, and entrepreneurs. I also see the future of the world. It is a distinct pleasure and honor for me and my wife Debbie to be here to share this time with you. My wife completed her undergraduate studies in computer science here, and I met her when I came to Canada to pursue a degree and a master after completing graduate work at the University of Colorado. This campus brings back many pleasant memories. I've always held Western University in high esteem, as it is recognized widely for its accomplishment in research, the quality of its training, and its commitment to saving the planet and making the world a better place. So expanding the impact of our teaching and research on the international stage is an institutional priority at Western University that's highlighted in our mission to develop global citizens whose education and leadership serves the public good. These are the sentiment that President Chakma chose to share upon being named as one of the 3 recipients of the prestigious Michael P. Malone International Leadership Award. We should congratulate President Chakma for his vision, for his values, and for his accomplishment. We should also thank him for his leadership and congratulate him for his award. He has enormous responsibility on his shoulder to carry on the mission of this university. We should give them our hope, our hand, so that he's successful. His success is your success. Dean of Science Charmaine Dean further underscored the vision and the values at Western University on the Western Science website, commenting that at Western, faculty and students follow their passions and strive to expand the global knowledge base. At the same time, they are receptive to emerging areas so they may responsibly participate in solving the problems of today and tomorrow. Those remarks, in conjunction with my understanding of the role this splendid, wonderful university plays in shaping the global leaders of the future, help me to frame and to title my talk from STEM to STERN. STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and math, to STERN, that is students, to entrepreneurs, renewing nature and nations. As the title implies, the Western University are being educated for a purpose. And that purpose is to make a difference. And you can make a difference. The title also suggests that you have embarked on a lifelong journey. And that journey will require making a transition and translation, the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities that you are developing here at Western University and applying them in other settings to address challenges, to make opportunities into realities, and to contribute positively to the world around you. So I want to share some thoughts that I hope will help you in making the transition and translation. I would like to address the concept of the entrepreneurship, the characteristic of the entrepreneur, the development of the skills and disposition required of an entrepreneur. Before I go further, however, let me get to know you a little bit better. First, I know there are students representing a variety of the faculties across the campus. So with a show of hands, please indicate whether you are in science. How many? Boy, there are a lot of them. Engineering? Business? There are not that many. Social sciences? Wow, 3 of them. Any other disciplines? And what is that? All science. Second, if you thought about becoming an entrepreneur, when you graduate, hold your hands up. Good. Third, who is a Canadian citizen? Pretty much all of them, except about half a dozen. They're not Canadian citizens. So thank you very much for that. So my quick survey shows that some of you are not STEM winders and come from other disciplines. Several of you have not considered the entrepreneurial journey or path, and many of you come from a nation that is not from Canada. But I firmly believe that what I have to say will have relevance for all of you because you all have already exhibited drive, commitment, and the ability to lead. I'm fairly confident my comments will not be lost in translation. With that said, let us get to the heart of the matter. So what and who is an entrepreneur? So there are various definitions. One that appeals to me is the entrepreneur is a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with a considerable initiative and risk. I like that definition because it emphasizes any enterprise and extends the definition beyond just the business owner. A person can be entrepreneur in any type of organization as long as he or she is willing to step up to the plate, take a leadership role in shaping the direction of the enterprise or the portion which he or she controls. Another definition I like was provided by Professor Howard Stevenson of the Harvard Business School almost 40 years ago. Professor Stevenson said, entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunity without regard to resources currently controlled. In other words, entrepreneurship are not constrained in their thinking. So let me combine those two definitions into one of my own definition. Entrepreneurs are dreamers who dare. They are seekers that seize the moment and take calculated risks to create the enterprise and jobs of the future. So working with that construct, in my opinion, the entrepreneur is a person who recognizes that becoming an entrepreneur is a continuous journey. Think small to win big. Seize opportunity where others see problems. So let me address each of these characteristics in turn. It all begins the journey that is with the desire, the drive, the discipline, the want, the very need to be an entrepreneur. Many years ago, I was sitting in a classroom at university as you are today. I was preparing to embark on a career path, but was not exactly sure where it would take me and what would be required to succeed. So let me tell you a little bit about my own personal journey and what I learned. I came to the United States of America at the age of 15 from India. I crossed the Atlantic Ocean to realize, to attain, to achieve, and to pursue the American dream. I earned my bachelor's and master's degree in computer science at the University of Colorado. That gave me the baseline knowledge that I needed to consider developing an IT-related business. So when I graduated with an advanced degree, I understood the need to acquire experience before launching my own venture. So I worked with the two major information technology companies in the Washington, D.C. area for about a decade to learn the ropes, the ins and outs of doing business. In this case, with the United States government. So that gave me the skills and the real world grounding that I needed to eventually start my own business. So after doing my apprenticeship in 1994, I purchased a company called QSS Group Incorporated for $45,000. That was a good investment. We mortgaged our house. Those were the dark, desperate days of my life. So within 13 years, along with a strong management team, we took that firm from a workforce of one employee, me, to a more than 3,000 employees and approximately $350 million in revenue per year. That is an impressive spiral. And I did play a role in achieving that success. I learned how to pick great people and support and encourage their creativity and excellence. It was just not me, but we who made it happen. So success in business is a team sport. And I cannot emphasize enough the extent to which each member of the team, and in particular its leader, must demonstrate both passion and persistence. Staying the course is essential in pursuing business success. So most of our journeys, mine included, was not a straight line. It was not always easy. And the final destination was not certain. During the early years, my team and I focused on a number of critical issues, the ones that make or break a business, such as, will we win the contract? Will we get the bank loan? Will we be able to make the payroll? There were some 24-hour days and many sleepless nights. For the 13 years I was in business, I worked 7 days a week. So as my business grew, the biggest challenges were getting the capital required for expansion and finding and maintaining the talented management team who shared my vision and my values. Finding the capital we needed was solved by developing a relationship with a bank and a banker where my business mattered. On the management side, I realized I needed people who had communications and customer relationship skills, as well as a commitment to quality that fit in with my own worldview. It took me a while to get that right. And once I did, the company took off in terms of growth, profitability, and customer satisfaction. I was constantly learning from my mistakes. So that's the part of the risk-taking and maturing. Do something, try something, move forward if it is right, learn something if it is wrong, try again and again, and that's the entrepreneurship. So if I have to do it all over again, I would place finding the right core team, 4 to 6 individuals, at the top of my agenda. The greatest leaders in the history surrounded themselves with the people who espoused the same basic values but brought their own unique strengths to the table. As I mentioned, my journey was not a straight line. In fact, there were numerous twists and turns. So what enabled me to prevail in my journey was a belief in myself and those around me and the opportunity presented by the American dream. It is not the we who carry the dream, it is the dream that carries us. So success breeds success and inspired me to continue to move forward. As importantly, failure taught me to never go backward. I knew implicitly that you needed to move ahead, and then if you did not, you would be left behind. A hard, but the lessons learned early on. In 2007, I sold my company to Ross Perot, a true American icon, a treasure of America, on a piece of napkin, piece of papers, the lunch hour, just like this, when I sold this business, 2007. So that sale allowed me to establish a private foundation that supports educational, cultural, and artistic causes in the United States and around the world. I firmly believe, as President John F. Kennedy said, to whom much is given, much is expected. I'm always reminded and guided by this phrase. It is much more rewarding to give than to make money. So that's my journey in a nutshell. I hope my journey resonates well with all of you, with millions of people across the globe, across this nation. And my journey can only happen in America. It's America's inclusiveness and openness that provided me the career path to be successful. These are the strengths and the values of the qualities of America that we can all proudly and truly embrace. While each of our journeys should and must be different, I think there's a common thread that an entrepreneur can employ as a general guideline for achieving success, and that is, think small to win big. As Woody Allen, one of my favorite actors, said that 90% of life is just showing up. I became successful, and I believe you can as well, by concentrating on the 10%. I would call that the Frank Islam difference. The Frank Islam difference meant focusing on the critical few areas that make a success possible. For me, they were developing a distinctive core competence, establishing a laser beam customer focus, creating the niche differentiation, ensuring the perfection in performance. So let me address each of these areas in turn. The core competence. When I started my business, the IT firms in Washington, D.C. were a dime a dozen. Nothing set them apart. I decided that my firm would stand alone through an integrated blend of engineering, science, and information technology skills. The IT skills were the basic requirements. The science and engineering skills separated us from the pack. Second, laser beam customer focus. My first government contract was with the United States government agency, NASA. They appreciated the value inherent in my scientific background and executive experience at Raytheon, a well-known and highly esteemed defense contractor in the United States. We treated them well, exceeded their expectations, and as a result got a significant add-on business. From 1994 to 1997, NASA was only our client. We use our track record there as the basis upon which to expand our business. So that brings me to the third area, niche differentiation. We did not expand willy-nilly without a plan. We grew the business outward from our core client business to those with a similar characteristic and needs. So after the work with the NASA, our second work with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, then Department of Defense, National Security Agency, and Homeland Security. So we were able to expand and grow quickly because of our perfection in performance. Past performance is critical in getting government contracts. I knew that many IT firms were late in deliverables and sometimes did a poor project management and shoddy technical work. QS's focus on quality control would not let that happen. I affirmed and vowed that my firm would stand apart from other firms in this competitive arena and establish performance as promised as QS's corporate motto. It was more than a motto. It was the way we did business and a springboard for getting additional business. So that brings me to the third characteristic of the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur sees opportunities where others see problems. Some people refer to that as a vision. I call it identifying an unfilled need and satisfying it. Sometimes that was the case with Steve Jobs and the iPhone, or Jeff Bezos at Amazon. It includes creating and shaping customer expectation for type of quality or product or service that does not exist in the marketplace currently. It is what we see happening now with the trend towards 3D manufacturing. So the successful entrepreneur is never satisfied with the status quo. He or she is always pushing the outer edge of the envelope to do things faster, better, cheaper, and differently in a manner that matters to the customer. So as I noted near the outset of this speech, the entrepreneur does this by finding the resources required to exploit the opportunities when they present themselves. As Professor Stevenson from Harvard put it this way, they see an opportunity and do not feel constrained from pursuing it because they lack resources. They're used to make it do without the resources. It is said, I believe it was Peter Decker who said that, the managers do things right, but leaders do the right thing. And doing the right thing is the essence of the leadership and the entrepreneurship. So in order to do the right thing, the entrepreneur must have proper skill and disposition. They are both hard and soft skills. In my opinion, the soft skills are the hard stuff to master, and the hard skills are fairly easy. Hard skills include the technical knowledge, the competencies, and ability required to do effective problem solving. Soft skills include things such as listening, learning from your peers, and working as a part of a team. I have to admit that when I was a student, for a variety of reasons, I excelled at the hard stuff. I did not develop the soft skills until I got out into the business world and had role models and the mentors that stressed bidirectional communications and collaboration. So my advice to you is to build both skill sets now and shorten your learning curve to becoming an entrepreneur. So let me offer you some additional advice that I think could be useful in your entrepreneurial journey. Stay true to yourself. Be something special to someone in particular. Be a lifelong learner. Never give up. Create your own legacy. Stay true to you. This has always been one of my personal mantra. Stephen Jobs, before he died, said in a commencement address at Stanford University, and he said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." Be something special to someone in particular. I think it was Ted Levitt from Harvard who said that. Know who your target customers are. Develop your product or service to delight them. Exceed their expectation. Don't be satisfied with being a me too or doing something just good enough. Be a lifelong learner. Study hard, but remember, the life's lessons are taught inside the outside the classroom, and they are never ending. So commit to learning at least one new thing every day. Use the new things you learn to continue to reinvent yourself. Never give in. Winston Churchill said that to the schoolboys at Harrow School in London in 1941, near the beginning of the World War II. Never give in, never give in, never, never, never give in, except to conviction of honor and good sense. So that was a good advice more than 70 years ago. It is a good advice today. Create your own legacy. Realize that whether wittingly or unwittingly, we are writing the narratives for our lives in the way we conduct ourselves, both personally and professionally. Professor Clayton Christensen from Harvard put it this way: think about the metric by which your life will be judged and to make a resolution to live every day so that in the end your life will be judged a success. In closing, I'd like you to consider this request that is for each of you to accept the role and responsibilities moving from stem to stern. The world needs you desperately. We live in a world that is environmentally, economically, and ethically challenged. You have a good fortune to be at a great university that is in the forefront of addressing those challenges. Western has been a leader for almost a century. Your faculty and graduates have provided cutting-edge discoveries such as using of radar technologies that helped win the Second World War, the creations of insulin, the treatment of cervical cancer, wind engineering, business educations, and the medical advances. This wonderful and splendid institution has produced Nobel laureates, Rhodes Scholars, and many government officials, academic, and business leaders. It currently has more than 300,000 alumni in over 130 countries around the globe. Those are the ambassadors and the boots on the ground today working to make this a safer and a better world. Western is preparing you to be the next generation of leader so that you can make your contribution to solving those challenges that confront us. I ask that each and every one of you to make those contributions by doing well, but by doing good. Recognizing that it is not just about the paycheck, the career path, or the corner office. It is about the countries, the communities, and the citizens. It is about focusing on sharing and caring. It is about creating your own legacy. So natures and nations need renewal and healing. I'm confident that you will become the future leaders in the renewal and healing process. That is because you are a student here. Western is building knowledge and skills and the concepts of global citizenship and constructive entrepreneurship in your DNA, in your genetic code. It is inspiring you to do well, but to do good. You just have to do it, right? Do well, but do good. Always subscribe to the notion, to whom much is given, much is expected. So when I look back the time that we spent together, the memories that we have cherished together, I will always think of you. I hope the ideas that I have shared here will make some modest contribution in that regard as well. So thanks for the privilege of speaking with you today. Good luck on your journey and creating your legacy. I wish you all the best. I wish you continued success, and God bless you all.